IWER.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. I am Vanessa Thomas with the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube. In the headlines, the Met Service issues weather alert as the country experiences heavy showers and gusty winds. December is COVID's deadliest month, with the most COVID deaths in the pandemic. The Communication Workers Union wins injunction for unvaxxed workers to return to work, and internationally from Boxing Day, only groups of 6 will be allowed into pubs, restaurants and cinemas in Wales. And now the news in detail. The Met Service has issued an adverse weather alert yellow level for Trinidad and to a lesser extent Tobago. It took effect from 11 last evening and is expected to end at 4 p.m. tomorrow. The Met Office warns that gusty winds in excess of 55 kilometers per hour may displace unsecured roofs and loose outdoor objects. It said it can even topple over weak trees. The Met Office added that downpours can lead to street flooding and localized ponding, especially in low-lying areas. It said while Trinidad is expected to experience the majority of the rainfall activity and associated impacts, there is still the likelihood of Tobago experiencing isolated strong winds and showers. Citizens are urged to secure loose outdoor objects and livestock. They are also urged to not venture into flood waters. In other news, December has now surpassed November to become Trinidad and Tobago's deadliest month of the COVID-19 pandemic. The Ministry of Health reported an additional 27 deaths yesterday, which takes December's toll to 481 compared to 462 deaths recorded last month. Tobago recorded an additional 4 COVID-19 deaths yesterday, taking the island's death toll this month to 48, also the highest number of deaths recorded in a single month in Tobago. In its daily COVID-19 update yesterday, the Ministry of Health said the 27 deceased were 17 elderly male, 4 elderly female, 4 middle-aged men, 1 young adult man, and 1 young adult woman. 15 of the patients had multiple medical conditions, including diabetes, hypertension, epilepsy, Down syndrome, obesity, thyroid disease, heart disease, lung disease, kidney disease, asthma, and cancer. 10 people had a single comorbidity, while 2 people had no known medical conditions. The deaths take the overall pandemic death toll in TNT to 2,639. Meanwhile, 723 new infections were reported yesterday. This month has seen a total of 15,235 people testing positive for the virus. Last month saw 14,032 confirmed infections. In more news, 7 unvaccinated workers who were banned from their workplaces and denied their salaries found favor at the Industrial Court in Port of Spain on Tuesday in an application for injunctive relief brought by the Communication Workers Union. Secretary General Clyde Elder and President Joanne Auger said the 7 may now return to work and must be paid their salaries for December, which other colleagues have already received. The ruling came from a 3-judge bench made up of the Industrial Court Vice President as well as Melville Daniel and Albert Aberdeen. In arguing the case, the union said it was not against vaccinations but was protesting an alleged breach of the Industrial Relations Act, where workers were locked out despite an alleged lack of consultation beforehand by the company. The CW complained that any company mandate the workers to get vaccinated represented a material change in their terms and conditions of work. The union said the workers have been reporting for work every day but were told by security that they would not be allowed onto the compound because they are not vaccinated. The injunction remains until the court decides. Meanwhile, trade union leaders around 10 o'clock this morning walked to Whitehall to deliver their letter to the Prime Minister concerning government's COVID vaccination and safe zone policies for the public service. Police had to remind OWTU heads about public health regulations congratulations as they gathered with other unions to deliver the letter. However, according to video footage on social media, the trade union leaders were allowed to enter the gates at the Whitehall. Trade unions also are to meet with the Attorney General this afternoon for discussions on the issue. International news. Groups of no more than 6 people will be allowed to meet in pubs, cinemas and restaurants in Wales from Boxing Day, the First Minister has said. Also, 2-meter social distancing rules are to return in public places. Licensed premises will have to offer table service only, face masks will now have to be worn, and contact tracing details collected. Outdoor events will be limited to 50 with 30 indoors. And that was the 12 o'clock news on the street, 919 FM, and online Facebook and YouTube. Recapping the headlines, the Met Service issues weather alert as the country experiences heavy showers and gusty winds. December is COVID's deadliest month, with the most COVID deaths in the pandemic. The Communication Workers Union wins injunction for unvaxxed workers to return to work, and internationally, from Boxing Day, only groups of 6 will be allowed into pubs, restaurants and cinemas in Wales. Do enjoy your afternoon and continue to be safe. I am Vanessa Thomas.